everybody, happy Monday. This is Overpass Live. My name's Eric and I make apps. This is the weekly live stream where we just hang out. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I might seem a bit disheveled today because today's actually not a work day. It's a holiday here in England. It's Bank Holiday Monday, which is for Easter Monday. So I've been kind of doing all kinds of stuff today. I was driving around everywhere and I made it back just in time to get everything set up for the live stream. And then even then, I haven't checked the sound, so let me just make sure. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, it looks like audio levels are okay and everything like that. So busy week, but an eventful week. I thought about not doing the live stream today because it is Bank Holiday Monday, but I'm even thinking about not doing it next Monday because the pubs will be open, but I probably will. So anyway, it's great to be here. It's been a busy week. I've been working a lot with beacons, and so if anybody out there has ever done any work with beacons, I'd love to hear from you because that's something I've been struggling with a little bit here. And if you weren't here last week, you may notice that we changed the angle of the camera. I've kind of rearranged things a little bit. So just gives me more room in my living room, and it helps with Zoom calls and stuff. So anyway, thanks very much for showing. I was glad to see that we already had a thumbs down even before we started today's video. So everybody who has given a thumbs up, thanks very much. And let's see who's here. We got Tamil City Central is here. Need to ask more doubts today. I am ready. Okay. Cool. Now ask away, Tamil City Central. We're happy to answer. I'm happy to answer any questions. You know what? For years, some of you guys will know what this is like, where you're trying to make your company sound bigger than it is, and you start using that royal we, and it's hard to get out of that habit sometimes. But I will answer any questions unless anybody else wants to join in and answer any questions too. Also, I'm kind of working on it at the moment where I'm only on one monitor at the moment. I got one monitor. I got my iPad over here. So if it seems like I'm a little bit trying to get used to a new setup, I am. Let's see. Waiting to see Overpass today. Cool. Well, great. Fantastic. I hope I haven't been waiting too long. Syed is here. Hi in advance. Hello in advance. Or hello in real time. You did it in advance. I did it in real time. Biswajit. Hey, Eric. How's it going, Biswajit? Theo Taylor. Here. All right, let me see. Here is Theo. Hey, Theo. How's it going? Robert T is here. Hi, Eric. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Benjamin is here. Benjamin, very, very handsome as always. Good to see you. Let's see. We've got Maximilian. Maximilian's here. Hey, Eric. How's it going? And Smash Highlights. Hey, how's it going? And Tamil City Central. Hey, bro. Hey, how's it going? So this week, one of the things I've been working on is for a client project, but I was really struggling with it earlier in the week. Every time I do work on where it requires a physical device, and I talk about this a lot. I do a lot of stuff with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections, and might be GPS or something like that, where sometimes you can't do that in a simulator, and it slows down the development process. And I've been doing stuff with a beacon this week, which I just bought a beacon. I'm trying to get it working for on another related project. So I'm like, writing this code, walking into a room, see if it works, walk back out of the room, see if it detects everything. So that's something I've been working on. In terms of revenue, my revenue has been pretty much consistent this week. It's been pretty much the same. However, this is something that I've been talking with my son. My son was this week asked. A lot of you guys have been asking about setting up a Discord server. And my whole thing is, I've used Discord once or twice, and I'm just like it's like too complicated for me to use Discord. Like every time I try to use it, I could use Slack, I could use other stuff, but when it comes to Discord, it's too complicated. So I did get a little tutorial this week on Discord, and I'm thinking about setting up a Discord server. So everybody here in the live stream, when you have questions to ask of the group, then we could do that. We have a place where it's not public, and we could just go and use invite only. We can all just come in there, and if you didn't want to talk about whatever your revenue goals or your revenue kind of stuff, it might be useful. And we're talking about something that's not going to be paid for, something that we can just put out there. So hopefully that's something to do. Like one of the questions I get a lot is, what's your RPM look like? All this kind of stuff. And I used to share it on Snapchat. I used to kind of share it on Snapchat because it was gone within 24 hours. But now I kind of don't, because I don't want to get in trouble. Let's see. We got Celtic Whispers. Happy Easter. Blessed Ostara to you. Hey, happy Easter too. Yeah, I almost totally forgot it's Easter yesterday. Um, let's see. Robert T says, on Android, I've had the best results by having in-app purchases that enable extra features on top of just removing the ads. This matches your advice, and I'm happy with the results. That's cool. That's really good. I mean, I always think if like we watched, like if you were watching a major series on TV and you had the option to remove the ads, would you, or would you think, well, I just have the same experience as everybody else, right? Which is, what you do. Like, if I'm seeing the ads, I have the same experience as everybody else. But if you're getting something that other people aren't, you're not taking away something. Like basically, you're not changing the experience, you're improving the experience. Like, you're adding something in. Like, if I was watching, say, Walking Dead, this is the only thing that always comes into my head. If I was watching Walking Dead and there was an option to remove the ads, I probably wouldn't bother. But if there was an option to have like an additional episode or like see other scenes that other people didn't see, like actually value adds onto it, then I would be more enticed to do it, because it would be like, I feel like I'm missing out on something rather than I'm experiencing the same thing everybody else is. But that's really cool. That's really cool. Awesome, Robert. Timothy says that I've started a tech company. Awesome. But I don't have any idea what to do. Can you tell me how to find clients? Clients are everywhere. There's people out there looking for applications, and they need to know whether or not, first of all, they need to know who you are. They need to know whether they can trust you, and they need to know whether you can do what you promise you're going to do, right? So there's going to be things that they're going to be looking into. They're going to be looking at, are you too expensive? Are you too inexperienced? Are you too... And when you're just starting out, it's difficult because you are inexperienced, right? You have to like prove that you can do what you say you're going to do. Right? For years, I was saying I want to do this whole, I wanted to have a client. I want to have a client-based business. I wanted to have Overpass. I was going out trying to find clients, and there was a lot of it was just like trying to pretend like I knew what I was doing, but like I would totally fold under any kind of intense questioning. Right? If anybody asked anything that was like, so how long have you been doing this? I'd be like, I'm just starting. I couldn't lie. I would not lie. But this is one of the things where doing your own applications helps, because doing my own application, because I would do things for like contracts, like stuff in investment banks and stuff in different contract work, but I couldn't really share that. Like, it wasn't the kind of thing where I could just like, I'm under NDA and all this kind of, so I never share client work with, other clients. It's just, you just can't do that. So when you have your own applications, then you're, unless they give you permission, if the client gives you permission, you can't share it. Like, I've been sharing the boxing app on this channel on the live stream the last couple of weeks that I've been working on. And that's because, I got permission from the client to do it. And it was kind of like, cool, let's show. But so having your own applications shows that you know what you're doing, you know how the app market works, you're keeping your skills sharp. You're not just waiting for someone to come around and give you money before you do anything, right? You're constantly doing it, right? You're producing, and what they're able to do is just hire you for a little bit to produce for them, right? So, but if you can't produce yourself, then there's no way to do it. You need to build up that portfolio. So what I'm saying is you need to build up a portfolio. You need to get that out there, because that's the thing they're going to do, right? If they're going to be, and you also need to think about how they're going to find you. For me, there's different ways we've done it. We've done a lot with SEO. So SEO, like our website, we recently moved to a new server and migrated a bunch of pages, and I need to be more on top of that. The people who, I did have somebody work with me. She was moving everything over, and I'm still not sure if everything was moved over. So like a lot of stuff that we had SEO juice with, like we were ranked with, I don't know if we're still ranking with them. But one of the things we were really good with was geographic SEO. So if somebody does app development in Didcot, if app development in Oxfordshire, app development in the Southwest, app development in all these different places, we had like hundreds of different location pages and industry pages, like say construction app development, whatever, and then trying to get that done, but also producing content so that you get the SEO coming in there. Also, just producing content in general, because YouTube is also the second largest search engine in the world, right? So being able to put content out there on YouTube does help you get found. Now that is a long game. That's a slow game. That's you're building the fire and hoping that people come to you. But until that happens, you're going to have to go out there and go to them first, right? You're going to have to go in there and you have to keep the bills paid. So you have to go out there and actually try to bring those clients in and go out there and meet people and, maybe do a little bit of cold calling and all the stuff that I, as an introverted software developer, absolutely hate. I hate picking up the phone and calling a stranger. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. In fact, one of the reasons why cold callers get such an easy time with me is because I'm in awe of the fact that they could just pick up the phone and call me out of the blue, right? I hate calling somebody out of the blue and trying to, push these stuff. And, that's what we talk about, inbound and outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is it's harder to establish because you have to build your portfolio, you have to build your presence, you have to get all that stuff out there so that people find you. But then when they find you, you know that they're already interested in having an app or software developed. They're already interested in working with you, or at least in inquiring with you. They're exploring the idea of whether or not you're the right fit, all this kind of stuff. But when you're cold calling and doing outbound, you don't even know that. You don't even know if they could use a mobile application or a software application, whatever. So finding clients can be difficult that way. I know this is a bit all over the place. One of the tools that really works when you're doing outbound stuff, works really well, is LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is pricey, but it allows you to, once you identify who your prospect is, and I don't mean it could be any company or whatever. It's got to be okay, if it's a company of a certain size. If it's a company of a certain size, then you know whether or not you're looking for the owner of the company. If it's a smaller company, it might be the owner. If it's a larger company, it might be the head of technology. If it's an even larger one, it might be a head of a certain division. But you kind of feel your way around that way. And then you could start targeting those people directly on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is why I hate LinkedIn because everything is so spammy and everybody's reaching out. So let me know what you guys think about that. For those of you guys what's your best way of getting clients? Because for me, that's it. I much prefer the inbound stuff, obviously, but it's working on building that presence. And I've kind of taken my eye off the ball over the last year or so. Moving the website, I think, has probably hurt a little bit, but also just, everything going on in the world and everything. Robert T says, for iOS, I think paid apps seem to be the best choice to avoid privacy/GDPR issues with ads on iOS. What do you think? I got the email the other day from AdMob saying I got to update the iOS apps for the IDFA tracking and all that kind of stuff, and I need to do that. Right now, my most popular app on iOS is it's not compiling on the whatever Swift version 4. I tried it last year and I thought, screw this, but I need to get it to the point where it compiles, right? It's just I brought it up to speed and then all of a sudden it doesn't again. And my knowledge of Swift is not good enough to make these kind of changes yet. So I think really what it is, I just need to sit down for a good solid 2 or 3 hours and just get it done. But I do think, I think that the advertising revenue, my advertising revenue is falling all the time. But it's also surprisingly okay. I don't know if you guys saw it on the last video I did, which I think came out on Tuesday. I talked about how long you're going to support your apps. And somebody said, I don't think you're being realistic with what you say with your 2020 revenue. You're basically just saying that I'm lying. I'm like, well, I'm not lying. It's but halfway through the year, my big app EarSpy was moved from Google Play, and I just and then that was just I got tired of just appealing it all the time. I got tired of pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable and everything like that, and I just sort of let it go. But I still had a good revenue up until there. But I don't know. I'm just going off. I'm rambling now. Boy, I was born rambling, man. But no, I think I think the same thing when the GDPR stuff came out and you had to ask whether or not they wanted personalized or non-personalized ads. I kind of thought that was the end of ads then, but surprisingly, it was still okay. So I'm kind of hoping the same thing with the IDFA tracking stuff. But yeah, I think we need to make stuff that people are willing to pay for. Theo says, one day I will get Eric to try out React Native with Expo. And yes to the Discord server. Yeah. Okay. So the Discord server is something that now that I'm learning a little bit about it, we're talking about, should we have a voice channel in there? Should we have the different channels for different topics? I thought we could have channels for, because we tried to do this with the Facebook group. We did create a Facebook group, and a lot of stuff was more, yeah, I think things get lost in Facebook. They get lost in the feed, and I kept missing things. A lot of stuff was directed directly at me, and I think what I'd like to have is something where more the community, so like we could all answer each other's questions and help each other out, because there's times where I just don't know the answer to it, and just having someplace we can all go. I know there's probably other forums and Reddit channels and everything out there. I know there are, but someplace where we don't have anybody spamming it. Like I'll never go on there and say brought to you by Gummy Cube or something like that. It'll be just something that we could just all share and contribute to and become better together with. But say not having ads on iOS means future proofing against whatever privacy measures Apple takes into the future to limit ads. That's true. When it comes to future proofing, yeah, I mean, but you should update every so often. iOS will remove your app if you don't update it in 2 years anyway, which is an ambulance going by. Which is one of the things I need to get on, because pretty soon they're going to remove my the AirSpy app on iOS. Maximilian, hey Maximilian, how's it going? Eric, I have been working on an app for 2 years. Dude, man, you gotta go live. Launched it 6 days ago and have 80 downloads. Should I be worried? Max, are you on iOS or Android or both? 80 downloads after 6 days is, given the current climate, I think you should be worried if you're advertising. If you're advertising, that's the downloads you're getting, then yes. If you're relying on people just finding your application, then that sounds pretty good. It sounds like you need to somehow get more people to that page. But yeah, tell me a little bit more about it. Discord servers would be good for answering questions. Yeah, that's what I think too. So like a lot of times I'll get questions on the comments, and I'll try to answer when I can. But sometimes I'm just not the best person to ask. And I think just having someplace, well, a Discord server would be good, because then other people can contribute it. And then maybe on the live streams, we can see what any outstanding questions that haven't been answered and try to put it to the rest of the group. Let's see. Tamil says, I can develop and give mobile game apps and website development and digital marketing like installs, providing for Android through Google Ads. Okay. I mean, one of the things that I did was one of the things I've been really staunch about, and people have said this to me, like I've had like mainly other development companies say, oh, we could do your websites for you. Like, you know, that way you could say you do mobile ads and websites, and then you could say websites and this and this and this. And I thought, do you realize that I'm not saying, you know, I can do websites. I know how to do websites. Like, I know the skill is there. I'm not limiting it to just ads because that's all I know how to do. I was like, oh, the web, I don't know how. No, it was like, I want it to be targeted. Like when somebody's looking specifically for a specialist in a certain area, I want it to niche down into that area. So like if I'm looking for a if I'm looking for a chicken place and I go to a place that specializes in chicken, I know their chicken is going to be better than the place that specializes in everything, that doesn't have a specialty, that they're just like, whatever you want, we'll make it, right? So I decided I was going to stop focusing on websites, because I don't really enjoy working on websites, anymore. I've kind of I get tired of the cross-browser stuff. I know it's easier now with all, it's easier now than it ever has been. Bootstrap and all that kind of stuff. Bootstrap is old, but you know what I mean. Like it's easier with all the WebAssembly stuff and everything. However, I do think just being able to focus the message on like this is the one thing we do. If this is the thing you're looking for, then that's the thing we specialize in. It helps focus your message. And if somebody's looking for a generalist, then you could be the generalist, right? But lots of people are generalists. If they're looking for a professional in one thing, they'll go to that one thing. So this is one when we talk about. I think it's. you could broaden your scope thinking I want to appeal to as many people as possible, or you could focus your scope thinking if somebody's looking for somebody who's really good at this one thing, then you want to be seen as that. And I don't know if you guys agree with that or disagree with that, but Sunit, hey, Sunit says, what do you think about the Illuminati? Oh, do you think they are control of the outcomes of app stores to a large degree? The Illuminati, do you actually mean the Illuminati, like the real Illuminati? I don't think so. I'm not a big, sorry, I shouldn't say this because I know people that I know do believe in, in a lot of Illuminati stuff, but I'm not one of them. I'm kind of, I do think that Apple's in control of it. I do think that there's a lot of people who I mean, it's not. I don't think it's open and fair, by any means. Like it's not open and fair. I think the media controls a lot what we do. I think a lot of stuff is controlled by us, but I don't think it's like a certain group of people who controls everything. And you might disagree with me, but I'm not. I have not. First of all, and it's one of those things where maybe if I read everything on it, then maybe my opinion would be different. But I'm just kind of like not, I'm more interested in the stuff I can control. But Kevin's here. Hey Kevin, how's it going? But smash the like button, everyone. Yeah, everyone, smash the like. Don't just tap it. Smash it. I want you to, when you hit the like button, I want you to grit your teeth. But let's see. We got Celtic Whisperer says, would you recommend Firebase or AWS as the best place to host my mediation app audio files? I would say, okay. I've always said AWS S3. Like when I've done it, I've had an application where we did downloads from Firebase storage, and it was a lot more expensive. However, I've been doing the boxing I've been working on. We're doing we got video files coming from from Firebase storage, and those are, the cost seems to not be so bad. The streaming cost and the gigabyte cost. So, I think I just like the AWS. I like just putting things in an S3 bucket, except for the fact that every time I put something in S3 bucket, I have to go figure out how to make it public again. And for some reason, there's just, they got this weird JSON permission thing, which I just totally like, why do I have to learn another language to manage the server or to manage that kind of stuff? So, but yeah, I think because I did have an application where we had a Firebase real-time database, Firebase, and then we had an S3 bucket for the files. So it was like we had two different frameworks there, and it kind of made sense to have everything in one place. But it was too expensive to do in Firebase, and I think the price has gone down quite a bit. So I think if your backend, so I would say if your backend is in Firebase, that's when I think you should consider Firebase storage, right, for the audio files. However, if you have something else like a Node.js server, or you have something else hosted someplace else, then I would say, or not Node.js run on a server. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about. So if you do have Node.js running someplace else, then I would think that an S3 bucket would be a really good idea. All right, let's see. Smash Highlights says, when you get a chance to work on your own apps, do you think you'll start the new app or update existing apps? I find it very tempting to start new projects. I keep, when I do it, I do update existing projects. Like I do start working on it and start doing stuff. Sometimes the things that block me sometimes is like I need to go get audio files. So there's like, I don't know if you guys find this, but there's like a fluidity of working on something new. Like you just you could sit down and design everything you're going to do before you do it and then do it, right? That's the smart thing to do, but it's not so much fun because it's, sometimes you just sit on something. What I'll do is I'll sketch out something like, okay, just get an idea, and it won't make sense to anybody else because it's not for anybody else. I don't use Balsamic. I'll just have a scrap of paper and I'll just go, okay, put the buttons down here, put this over here, have a list view here, whatever. And then I can just go through and then code it. And then as I'm coding it, I might think, I might just move things around a little bit because sometimes it's easier to do it. Like with, like say you're in Flutter or something like that. You just say, "Oh, I'm just move this. Let's move this node from the footer to the header and see what it looks like. Let me move back down to that footer." Sometimes it's easier once you get the things in there and just to. There's sometimes when you're coding where you're just kind of like just playing it fast and loose, just doing whatever, and that's fun. And then there's other times where you need like you need to get to the point where I need some graphic assets now. Like there's only so much I could do with shaders and rounded corners and whatever drop shadows. So you get to the point where or font awesome we use a lot, or whatever the icon fonts, the different types of icon fonts, so that you do your buttons and everything. And sometimes you need graphic assets, and it's like, oh, I need to get Sandy to work on this, and then so a lot of times when I work on my existing apps, it's just like fixes and stuff like that. Like, let's put in a different ad here, or let's put like stuff that like the users might not necessarily see. Also, my hands are tied sometimes because even if I have something like I want to have a pop-up that says, "Hey, whatever, download another app" or something like that. If it's like my Bubble Bath games, which are language learning games, those have been translated into 6 different languages. So, well, there's English, Spanish, Portuguese, Korean, Chinese simplified, and Russian. Chinese simplified and traditional, and Russian. So I've had those all done in that. So every time I need to get like something else, put something else in there, that kind of makes it difficult. So sometimes it is easier just to start up your own project. And sometimes I'll do something just to see whether something's possible. Let's see. Can you guys still hear me there? It says local recording stop. I didn't know it was recording. Let's see. If you guys can hear me, just let me know. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm gonna assume you guys can. Otherwise, I'm just a sad old man talking in his living room. Let's see. App 404 says new setup. Basically, all I did App 404 was I moved my desk. My desk used to be facing the wall. I moved it to face the kitchen. Really, because when I have Zoom calls, like with video chats, like everybody can see what was on the counters or on my kitchen table. And sometimes I could be a bit of a slob, and I'll be like, whatever, plates and dishes and stuff that I just happen to leave out or whatever. So I just move things around for that. And I know that means on the live stream, I don't have anything interesting. I have a bare white wall behind me, so I need to put something else there behind me. Or my son recommended a green screen, which I'm thinking about. But yep. Are you in your office? No, I'm still at home. Still in the. I don't have an office anymore. I'm starting to think now that, now that I moved into the apartment. Well, I moved into the apartment just over a year ago, and I don't really have any interest in going back to an office. The thing about the office was it gave me solitary, like some place to just sit and work. And now that I have the apartment, I'm living here on my own most of the time. I have that, so I really like that. Now, if that ever changed, then yeah, maybe an office would be, or if I hired somebody again. If I hired somebody again, then yeah, I wouldn't want somebody in my flat. There's still, you need that solitude, that place you can go just to be alone. In fact, that was it. One of the downsides of hiring people was that if there were times where I was like, I think I'm going to work from somewhere else today just because I need the time to focus. And so I see Billy. What's up, Billy? How's it going? Angelina. Hey, Angelina, how are you? App44 says, are you making bank off of EarSpy? You should keep appealing. It doesn't take that long. 20 minutes to write an appeal gives you thousands of dollars. That's true. I mean, I think I was looking at the stats. It was July of last year that it was last time rejected, and it had been rejected. Like it keeps suspended. It keeps suspended again and again and again, and I'd appeal it, and they'd reinstate it, and I'd do it. And I started thinking, I wonder if it's getting suspended because it's getting reported by the copycats. And it's been like a year, and I wonder if I put it back, if it would even show up again. And it's one of those ones where it felt like I was kind of pushing the edges of stuff, and it was like, if it was something simple, like that wasn't in any way edgy or offensive to anybody or anything like that, then it would have been, it would have been fine. But so, sometimes it's kind of like they says, well, it condones spying, and you're like, it's like it got to the point where I was going like, what? Your spy condones spying? No, it's just like because it didn't really do anything. It was it brought the audio in and went to the headphones. However, there are times where I go, and I know I shouldn't do this, but I go and I look what the copycats are doing, and there's like thriving and people leaving reviews like, this is the best app ever. I'm like, to their little cheap old ripoffs that they've done. And there's times where it just eats away at me inside. And, but yeah, maybe I should. I've thought about that. Like, is it too late to appeal now? Let's see. Robert T. on iOS is always try to make your app free with IAP or subscriptions. Free apps get far more downloads and Apple ranks them higher. I tested this with one of my apps. Yes, but if you have like just a paid application and you have really good Facebook ads and your Facebook ads, your cost per acquisition is lower than your actual cost per acquisition is lower than the than what you make, then you still make a profit off of it. But let's see. Maximilian says Android, which was I've been working on it 2 years. Okay, so you did it on Android. My app is on Android. I had an article from a local paper, but that's all the marketing. Okay, well that's not too bad. So you get people going to it. I mean, I talk about on this channel that if you have people going to your page, like if you could take a look at your user acquisition report and see how many people are actually visiting your page versus like what your conversion rate is, like how people are actually, and I'm not quite sure where it is with the new revamp of Google Play console. It's not that new, I know, but you can see like how many people actually visit the page and what your conversion rate is of people downloading it, because it seems like 80 seems like pretty good for just local newspaper stuff. So that means that if you could pay to get a little bit of ad revenue going to it, I mean, just whatever, get it more eyes on it, it's compelling enough that people will read about it or see what it is and actually go and check it out. But let's see. Tamil says, I could promote your app through Google Ads. It's paid. Okay, well, let's see. Chord Funk, whoa, trippy new setup. This is like I'm in the same place. Okay, let me just show you. So if I switched my desk around. Oh wait. So basically, I'm still in the living room, but this is what was happening. Like I'd have like meetings with like Zoom meetings, and then like they would like my desk was faced the other way, and people could see the kitchen. So that was kind of like, I think so. Let's see how many keywords you aim for an app. I'm usually only thinking about one or two. Like I'm thinking about a few different phrases. So for so I guess it depends on the app. I think you should aim for as many as possible that are relevant to your applications. You're thinking about what people will be searching for. So like for my Mandarin learning application, my Chinese Mandarin application, learn Chinese, learn Mandarin, Mandarin language, Mandarin education. Like there was like a whole bunch of things where you start going in. It's just a permutation of those different ones. So like I think first of all, I'm thinking about what would people be searching. And then you could also go into Google Play and start typing in those kinds of stuff. So let's do as an experiment here. Let's go to share my desktop. Let's see. So let's go over to Google Play. Okay. So if I was going to do like learn Chinese, right? That would be the first ones. I would go through and I make a list of the ones that I think to, and then I might run them through like to find out what's competitive and what isn't. So like learn Chinese is like there's way too much there. So that's something I want to really go for. Let's say I might go like, let's say Mandarin Chinese learning free, Mandarin Chinese, my Mandarin A, it'll be Mandarin alphabet, Mandarin app, Mandarin alphabet, whatever, Mandarin B, Mandarin books, bubble bath. That's mine actually. So so if I do Mandarin B, I actually do rank for that. So if I go Mandarin C, so these are kind of things you think about your seed keyword and you kind of work off your seed keyword for stuff like that. There's other things you could do. So if you go into App Annie, you guys can't see my, guys, let's see, App Annie, and you just use like the free version of App Annie. Accept all cookies, login. So if I was going to go into one of my applications, I was going to go to say Mandarin Bubba. So let's go to the Google Play Chinese Mandarin Bubble Bath. So this is one where, you know, Chinese and Mandarin. So at first it was called Mandarin Bubble Bath. If you go into the application itself, you'll see it says Mandarin Bubble Bath. But I needed the word Chinese in there. I wanted like that's something people would wait. So I put that in there. I thought about getting rid of Bubble Bath because this does take a lot of space and it doesn't say anything about what people be searching for. But in the end, I kept it. When it used to have like when the on Google Play we used to have like I think we used to have 250. We used to have like a lot more characters. I can't remember what it was. And then it shortened for Google Play and it lengthened for that. So that's some of the things that I look for. In the ASO keyword section here, this is where we start seeing how much, like this would be my first way of start of thinking. But then you start looking at like, well, actually, what kind of stuff do we not want? So for Bubble Bath, I rank 58, which is like it's like not even something I want to do. For Mandarin, I rank 129th. For this application. For Chinese Mandarin, 152, 207. So nothing really good. This is an example of an application that is in a very saturated market. So it's like it's something that it's never really done that well. But this is kind of my thinking in terms of going in on that. Is like, how can I get these ones up? And there's different ways of doing it. So like speaking Mandarin. So once you're going through this, you start looking at, you know, what other words could I start bringing into my description and my title? If I could get people to somehow mention those in the reviews, that helps. If you could get backlinks that have that in there. So like if you were to have like a backlink that has something like a link to the Play Store, but then in the actual text of the icon. This is something that Google recommended several years ago, just having a link that goes through, but your keyword is actually be the text of the link, and the href of the link will be that. So there's lots of different ways of doing that, but these are the kinds of stuff that when I think about the keywords, I'm not thinking about like, okay, so like I'm ranking number 58 for Bubble Bath, right? It sounds, I mean, that sounds impressive, but that's not my target demographic. That has nothing to do with my user. Like even if I rank really well for a word that nobody did anything with, then they're going to get to the app and they're not going to want to download it because that's not what they were looking for. So you have to think about what's actually relevant to them. Chinese Mandarin would have been a great one. Learn Chinese would have been a great one. Learn Chinese Mandarin. So if I were to type in, let's see, learn Chinese. They've recently locked down a lot of stuff on this, actually. We used to be able to see how many apps there were in competition. But like learn Chinese, not even, you know, doesn't even show up in the top 250. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. Let me know. Let me know if that's helpful or not helpful. But this is the kind of things to think of. So, and how do you put your keywords in the description and the title? If you can get it in the title, definitely get it in the title. Steve P. Young, he talks about this kind of stuff all the way. Steve P. Young will talk about how to actually use different locations. So Steve P. Young on App Masters, how to use different locations to target different words based on like the Spanish, I think the US Spanish keyword field in iOS and everything like that. And sometimes we get to talking about the keywords. A lot of the times people are very iOS centric. So you have a field that's actually called keywords, right? So you have to think about, well, on Google Play, it's not just keywords, but you are talking about like the first few sentences on the description. You're talking about the title, talking about the reviews. I've been ranking for things that were not even in my title or my description, but they were in the reviews. Like people saw cheating boyfriend, cheating girlfriend. I was ranking for that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. So let's see. See, April Fools was on April 1st. Sunit. See, What was that? Says Patrick. Tamil says, Maximilian, you need to concentrate on paid installs. You could try to get 10,000 installs. After that, it will grow organically if people like your app. That's true. That's something, you might think it doesn't make sense to do ads for a free application, and it doesn't if that's your goal. It's not a case of I'm going to continuously have ads on this for the next 2 years because you're still paying more for ads than you are for the actual user acquisition. However, if it does help get those installs up, then it does help the ranking because people, it gets more social proof with Google. People are actually downloading the app. They're leaving reviews. Hopefully, they're doing all that kind of stuff, and you actually do start to rank a bit better. If you need app stalls. Sorry, Eric, bro, for this promotion here. That's all right. Go on. Yeah, look, does anybody else want to promote their businesses? It's fine. I think if you have an app business and you want to promote your app business, I'm totally fine with that. If you said something like you were like trying to say, I can help you get more downloads or whatever like that, then that's kind of stuff where I'm just, if it's more like smoke and mirrors and I have the magic secrets, that's stuff bothers me. Rizwan, hola, old pal. How are you, my man? I'm doing good, my man. How are you, my man? I'm doing well. Let's see. YA says, hey, YA says, hey, Eric, I'll just launch my app. Question mark? Did you? Any tips on how I could get downloads apart from ASO? How should I advertise it and promote it? I think first thing you need to do is determine who your target users are, because don't do any advertisements until you know who they are, because then how can you make an ad unless you know who you're appealing to? So if it's like I said, the Mandarin thing, the learning Chinese ones, I'm thinking about who would learn to do that. So there'd be like people who have kids that they want to learn Mandarin. People want to learn it themselves to travel. People want to people who are traveling. People who are just getting a bit rusty. People who are interested in learning it. There's different types of stuff in doing it, and then you start from there. You start to work back. What are you doing? A lot of the icon and stuff is a bit cartoony, and I was kind of thinking about targeting more towards children. But then there's other things out there that do it, and I didn't want to get involved in the whole COPPA stuff and any kind of legislation or anything on that. I thought it's easier just to appeal to older people, so it does kind of stay that way. But once you know who that is, then you can start setting up your Facebook ad groups and whatever, reaching out to those right people. Let's see. Tamil says, YA, you can mail me and I'll provide me your app for paid installs and rank your app top. Oh, okay. Is that what we're saying? So yeah, or you can just do it yourself. Let's see. Kalyani B says, yeah, I can hear. Okay, yeah, cool. We're all hearing you loud and clear. Yeah, cool. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. Sounds fine. Cool. Sounds good. Good. Kalyani says, hi, Eric. Any comments on Apple's refund policy on App Store purchases? This is affecting us all developers. The users unlocks the content, and after a few days, they claim a refund. I think one of the good things about Apple is that, you're not able to actually give, not actually able to give a refund. So for me, like if somebody asks for a refund on an application, on Google Play, I'll say, give me the receipt. Sometimes I used to have this thing where on Google Play where they says, I don't like this sucks. I paid $4 for this and I don't like it. And I said, okay, cool. Just give me your receipt, send your transaction number, and then we can refund it. And they're like, and some people will be like, well, don't you trust me? I'm like, dude, it's like, I can't refund it. Like, basically it's a button. It's a button on Google Play. It says you can just refund it. Like, so I'm just like, I don't want to deal with anything, but I can't find your transaction if you don't tell me what the transaction number is. And you probably have it in an email. And on the Apple side, you can't refund it. At least you couldn't. They haven't changed that, have they? And I haven't noticed, but no, that used to really bother me because basically I would have a link to an article that and it's still a few years old, where I say, here's an article about how to raise it with Apple and go with them on that. But Robert says, I agree with App 404 that you should reappeal earspy rejection. Your app isn't that different from the Google Sound Amplifier app. Yeah, I know. I think You know, it really got me at a weird time. I mean, it was, um, you know, it's when I look at my revenue, I don't okay, yeah. When I look at my ad mob revenue, it really fell after that point. Um, I see. BizYG said I promoted my app again on Google Ads campaign from April 1st, the 3rd to the 4th. Here's the result: average cost per click of 77. Is that rupees? Average click-through rate 6.18. How can I increase the conversion rate? Oh, icon 230 conversion rate 56%. The conversion rate would basically be how much they like the ad, right? So if you're getting it in front of the right people, like anybody could put an ad. If you think about how you get them to actually act on it, like if it's one of the things I found with Facebook ads was that if you can make it something shareable, then it really spreads a lot quicker. So when we did the Vietnamese language learning game, the first ad was learn Vietnamese, and of course it was kind of like most people was like, yeah, no thanks. But I am appealing to people who like Vietnamese learners. So when I started doing when I started asking a question like, what is the Vietnamese word for cinema? Don't read the comments, but put your answer below, right? And people will start to comment on there and put the answer to it. The people who knew would look, and and it was more like they were answering a quiz, and then when they would answer it, then it would spread to their friends, and it kind of got this, this juice to it where it started to spread a lot more, as opposed to just a hey, download my app, kind of thing. So Yuba Sin, thank you, no problem. BizYG, I wonder if it's really pay the less price, 160. Sorry, I can't read that. I am providing installs at 4 rupees. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. Well, I say I don't mind you promoting it. I think it's, we get it. So, to Mill City Central. Let's see. Albert says, Eric, how much do you spend on an app campaign? I usually start with the least amount possible. So I'll start like at maybe $10 a day, or I'll start at $10 or $20 a day, because really it's that the first thing I'm looking for is the conversion rate and the click-through rate. The click-through rate and the conversion rate, because if you have an ad that sucks, then you don't want to, like if you were gonna, it's not like a physical ad where I'm gonna buy a billboard space, or I'm gonna buy a billboard space in the middle of Times Square, right? And I'm going to pay all up front, and I have to design my ad and put it up there and hope that it does well. And if no one sees the ad, or no one cares about the ads, or nobody even notices it, then I've just lost all that money. So what you want to do is create out a little tiny ad where you spend as little money as possible. And for those people who see it, those who act on it, if enough people are acting on it who see it, and you have that data, then you know that this works. Then I could put this on a bigger place, and then a bigger place, and then a bigger place. So you want to spend as little money as possible. So that's kind of my whole thing. Let's see. I spend $100 a month on a campaign and make $1,000 to $1,500 from AdMob. Am I spending too little? If you spend $100 and you're making $1,000, I think you should spend as much as you can. If that's what you're saying. Yeah, that sounds like, yeah, if you have that pipeline, Albert, then yeah, I think you're spending too little. If you make $1,000 from AdMob and you're spending $100, yeah. If it's because I was making like 3,000. Okay, so I was making like 3,000, but I knew that most of my traffic was coming from organic search. So then it was like if I knew it was coming from so if we say that $100, that $1,000 to $1,500 is the result of the 100, then yeah, definitely raise that price. But if it's just like you're making the $1,000 to $1,500, if you weren't paying 100, or if you were, then it's different. If that makes sense. Let's see. I spend about 2 cents per click. Awesome. Oh yeah. Are you doing it? So that's what I always do. Like when I'm doing the Google ads, I go I'll try 1 cent per click, then 2 cents per click, and then you get like no impressions, and then slightly start to rise it. And you'll find that if you have like a global campaign, like if it's done in certain parts of the world, you'll start to get a lot of traffic there, and all the impressions will be there, and you'll get like a lot of new users, but they're not necessarily going to make you a lot of money. So the ad revenue in the United States is a lot more than it is in other parts of the world. So like if your ads are being shown in the US, you're going to make more RPMs from those ads as a publisher, and you're also going to pay a lot more from them as an advertiser. But if you're just going for straight out, just I need those numbers up, then yeah, you want to go for that 2-3 cents per click. Tamil said City Central provide a bot install only his service is a scam. Oh, really? Let's see. Vishu seeing not bot installs, Google ad installs. All right. Albert, looks like you have a money printing machine. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, Patrick. It sounds like it has a money making machine. Like if you have that, that's what like every business person wants. Like if you have something where you start out small and you're putting that money in, and it's whatever, it's making more money, then that's perfect. If you put in 1 cent and you get 2 cents back, then you want to put in $100, get $200 back, whatever. That's a no-brainer, right? If you put in, but like if you're putting in 1 cent and you're getting 50, half a cent back, then obviously something's wrong. And a lot of times when you put something on the app stores or you do something like that, it is a risk. It is that trying to get that stuff coming back. So what I would do is build it slowly though, just in case. Let's see. Triple City, tell the truth, you're a scammer. Ooh, we got a bit of a fight going on here in the channel. Jahan Gill says, I only upload to Play Store. Should I start uploading to other stores like Amazon, etc.? It doesn't hurt. Like a lot of times you could use, unless you have in-app purchases, which you might have to make some changes for. Like if you just have like free with ads, you could just upload it to the Play Store and just see how it does. Some people do find it does better there. I was like, I just got tired of putting stuff on the Amazon store, so I stopped. I started focusing mainly on Google Play. But at least if you have an app and Google Play removes it for some reason, you can tell them to go to Amazon. You have a whole different search audience of people looking for it. But I found Amazon to be I wasn't getting the same downloads I was on Google Play. But I know I've talked to other people who said, Amazon's where they got all their downloads. So let's see. So sad you need an app install. Try to tell me that I'm a scammer or not. I was called a scammer last week. Your servers will get accounts removed. Don't think all persons negatively. Okay, well, let that go on. Let's see. Albert says, I make quality educational apps, so people spend a lot of time in them. That's awesome. That's really good. Albert, I mean, if it's educational apps, I mean, you do have the option for removing the ads and upgrading to like a paid version. Not just removing ads, but upgrading to a paid version. Because what I found with my educational apps was when I had like a free version with in-app purchases and a paid version, every so often, like I get a whole bunch of purchases of a paid version, like a school or something using the educational program, because they didn't want to mess around with like, in-app purchases and everything like that. So, I mean, it might be good to have that on there if you don't know. You might have it on there already, but Tamil says you only need proof to show me Google Ads and account. Okay. Let's see. Congrats on your app success. Sounds like you were doing really great. Yeah, Albert, it sounds like you're kicking ass. That's really good. Let's see. And Albert, your app name. Yeah, Albert. Actually, Albert, don't tell us your app. Well, you could tell us your app name if you want, but we don't want any copycats because I know of what I speak here a little bit. We don't want anyone to, like, if you have something that's working, last thing you need is a whole bunch of competitors and, that's working, jumping on that. So, share it if you want, but don't feel like you have to. Looks like we answered all the questions. Wow, is that the end of the live stream? Wow. Okay, cool. Hey, everybody, thanks for. It's still sunny outside. I'm gonna go outside and play. You guys, thanks very much for joining the live stream tonight, guys. We'll do it again. We might do it again next week. We'll probably do it again next week, but we'll see. We'll probably have a short one next week. And thanks everybody for joining the live stream this week. We have a fantastic week ahead. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Have a good week. See you later.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments. Colored trees, your